And we are live. What's going on, guys? Hopefully, you're all doing well on this fine Tuesday evening. Yeah, just a quick little live stream, solo as usual, nothing too serious. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. But yeah, we'll wait for a few people to get in and we'll talk some boxing. The usual stuff, man, the usual stuff. Let me just sort a couple of things in the background. 1 second. Every time I start one of these, I'm never ready. Okay. Okie dokie. Save that. Sorted. Should be good. Should be good. Yes, big up to MMA champ for GOAT. Big up to you, sir. I'm doing well. Hopefully you're keeping good as well. You say you're hyped for the weekend and the election is next week. Yeah, that's going to be crazy. You know, on social media, all of like the fallout to the election is going to be crazy to watch. I'm kind of looking forward to it, to be honest. But as for boxing, I mean, Usyk Chisora, it's going to be interesting to see how Usyk looks at heavyweight against like a known commodity, I guess. Obviously, we've got Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. I think Tank Davis is going to smash Leo to pieces, to be honest. I don't really see Leo. I don't think Leo's got enough to win that fight physically. I don't think he hits hard enough, and I'm not convinced by Leo at 130. I think Tank is too big, too strong, too fast, hits too hard, and yeah, I think Tank's going to take that one. But yeah, it's a good weekend. It is a good weekend, and also Naoya Inoue is fighting this weekend as well, which is always good. So yeah, it's a good weekend. It's definitely a good weekend. Big up to Carlos Mendoza. Hopefully you're doing well, bro. Hopefully you're doing well. Okay, let me just change this shit over 1 second. Okay, there we go. Yeah, exactly, MMA champ. The fight will test Usyk's chin and how durable he is at heavyweight. Yeah, I hope Chisora asks a few questions of Usyk. That's what I'm hoping for. I want to see Usyk get hit clean and things like that. I want to see how he deals with Chisora's physical strength. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see how Usyk deals with Chisora physically, really, and how he takes that power of Chisora. I think Usyk should box rings around him, to be honest. I've got Usyk winning a wide UD. I think he's going to just pepper him, outbox him, outwork him, and win a comfortable decision. I don't think he's going to knock out Derek. If he knocks out Derek, I think it's going to be like a corner retirement due to like accumulation. But I don't see him knocking out Derek, if that makes sense, like one punch bang, or even dropping him and knocking him out. I don't really see it happening. I think Derek's got a pretty good chin at heavyweight. He's one of the more durable heavyweights in my opinion, Derek. So I'd be very impressed if Usyk could knock him out. I'd be very impressed. Nice cup of coffee. There we go. But yeah, it's a good weekend, man. It's a good weekend. Not too bad. Obviously, we've got Dave Allen returning to the ring as well against Christopher Lovejoy. That's going to be funny as hell. I mean, Christopher Lovejoy, what can you say about that guy? Look at his record, for Christ's sake. He's been feasting on the worst opponents known to man. He's a master record of 19-0 with 19 knockouts, but he's fought absolutely nobody. And from what I heard, he's absolutely terrible. So yeah, Dave Allen more than likely is going to win this fight by knockout. And yeah, they'll sell it as like him beating some prospect, some big puncher. But in reality, I mean, Christopher Lovejoy is nobody. Let's be honest about it. I don't like the undercard for Usyk Chisora. It's nothing great on there at all. The Lee Selby fight's okay against George Kambosos. That's okay. But apart from that, there's nothing really there that interests me, to be honest. Nothing at all. Big up to the Matchroom Casual. Big up to you, sir. Big up to you. Derek Kevin Johnson Chisora. Yeah, Derek is like a high-level gatekeeper now. That's what he is. He's a good fighter, mate. He's good at he's good at his level. You know, he's a fringe contender, whatever you want to call him, gatekeeper. He's good at that, but he's never going to be in the upper echelons of a heavyweight division. You know, that's been and gone. He's never going to be there. And yeah, this fight is what it is. It's a non-title headliner on a pay-per-view, and basically this fight is a measuring stick. That's what it is, and that's a pay-per-view headliner in 2020, a measuring stick fight for Usyk. It's a bit poor, to be honest. I think this fight really needed a strong undercard, and it's not got one. It's not got one as far as I'm concerned. But what can we say? What can we say? Exactly. MMA champ for GOAT. Yeah, terrible undercard. Only good fight is the Selby fight. Yeah, the Selby fight's okay. Kambosos is a pretty strong lightweight. He's fairly basic, but he's quite strong and he applies pressure. And Lee Selby really isn't a lightweight in my opinion. So I think that's going to be competitive. But that's really the only fight on the undercard I'm looking forward to any degree. Big up to Boxing Virus. Big up to the Troll Network. Yeah, exactly, Matchroom Casual. There isn't even any footage of Lovejoy fighting. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's a few training clips online, but he looks terrible to me. He looks terrible. The Troll Network, Allen versus Lovejoy is a pay-per-view headliner. Mate, you never know. Listen, Dave Allen could be headlining a pay-per-view near you soon. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, it's disappointing. It's disappointing. Yo, big up to Mr. Man MC. Big up to Mr. Man MC. That bum meme was hilarious, man. That was hilarious. Oh my days. That is so funny on BDA. It's beautiful, man. Okay. Where are we at? Oh, 1 second, lads. But yeah, apart from we've got sort of 3 good cards this weekend. I'm looking forward to Inoue. I expect him to beat Maloney, to be honest. Maloney's okay, but he's like a fringe contender, in my opinion. Inoue should win by knockout. I think he will do. But it's always good watching Inoue. The fight I'm looking forward to most this weekend, I would say, I guess it's Usyk Chisora, to be honest. I guess it's Usyk Chisora. I'm not going to pay for it, though. I'm not paying for it, personally. I'm not going to pay for it. I'll stream it. AA Boxing and Blunts, I'm back in Lovejoy to stop Allen. Bro, I hope you're right, AA Boxing and Blunts. I hope you're right. I'd enjoy that very much. But I'm not. I've got no faith in Christopher Lovejoy whatsoever. According to social media, and social media is sometimes wrong, as we know. But according to social media, this guy is like morbidly obese right now. He's out of shape. He's around 340 pounds. He's coming over here with no trainer. He's not training this week at all. If that's true, man, this guy's going to get splattered. Honestly, that's embarrassing. If that's true. That's embarrassing. Yes, big up to Incognito. Big up to you, sir. Thank you very much. Levi Khan as well in the building. Big up to Levi, man like Levi. G-Man Boxing, big up to G-Man as well, every time. G-Man's rocks. Big up to G-Man. AA Boxing and Blunts. Arslan Ilayev is on the Gassiev card. I'll be watching his fight. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Gassiev back, actually. Even though he's fighting a pancake, Nuri Safari, I'm looking forward to seeing Gassiev again. I do rate him, Gassiev. I think he's a good fighter. Obviously, he got schooled by Usyk, but that's Usyk. I do think Gassiev can have some success at heavyweight. I think he's got some ability. He hits hard. He's durable. I think Gassiev could be okay at heavyweight. I think he might surprise people. Yeah, exactly, G-Man. Yeah, Christopher Lovejoy looking like a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid. Yeah. Big up, G-Man. No, nice of you to drop by, Incognito. Nice of you to drop by. Always good to see the new listeners come in, man. It's always good. Always good. G-Man's Rocks sounds like a brand of diamonds or crack. Laugh out loud. It does, you know. That's a good fight, Boxing Virus. Murat Gassiev versus Oscar Rivas. That's a very good fight. Both smaller heavyweights. Both can crack. Both got a great left hook. That's a really good fight. I would hold judgment. I'm going to hold judgment until I see Gassiev at heavyweight, to be honest. But it's a good fight. I like that fight a lot. Yeah, thank you, Levi, man. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. It's much appreciated. Big up to Dada, Wagwan people, Wagwan to you, sir. Big up to you. The Hearns run the British Boxing Board of Control. Do you find it's embarrassing that people think Chisora beats Usyk? I mean, listen, that is the state of like the British boxing fan right now. I mean, Chisora is a good fighter at a certain level, but if Usyk is going to be serious at heavyweight, Usyk needs to beat Derek comfortably. Let's be honest about it. That's what he needs to do, and that's what I expect him to do. Anything less than that, I'm going to be disappointed in Usyk. But big up to Ronald, man. Big up to Ronald. Salute to Ronald Finkley. Levi Khan, he says, Dave Allen knockout round 1 over Christopher Lovejoy, end of story. Lovejoy deletes his Instagram forever after the fight, takes his pot of gold back to LA. Yeah. I mean, I'm not expecting much from Christopher Lovejoy. Maybe he'll surprise us, but I doubt it. But yeah, Hearn runs the British Boxing Board of Control. Yeah, I mean, I can't see where Derek wins this fight. He's always struggled against movement. We saw that in the Kabayel fight. We saw that in the Pulev fight, the Vitali fight, the Fury fight. If you give Derek angles, you move around him, he's too stationary, he's too slow, and he'll get picked off. Yeah, I'm not buying into this War Chisora and all that nonsense. He's a good fighter at a certain level, but at the elite level, he's always going to come up short, and that's been his career, basically. He's made some good money. He takes all the fights. I'll give him credit, but let's not make Derek out to be something he's not, kind of thing. Big up to Jim McDonald. Salute to you, sir. Hopefully you're doing well, cuz. Hopefully you're doing well. Mr. Man MC, I'm not ruling out Chisora winning, but like you said, it just shouldn't happen at all. Exactly. Yeah. Dada, he says, I don't know. He said, I can't fucking speak, you know. I don't know, but I've got a feeling that Chisora's going to pull it off. Too big, too strong, been heavyweight for too long. Yeah, listen, Derek is experienced at heavyweight, as we know. He's a big lump. He's physically strong. He can punch, but I don't think Derek is a great boxer at all. I really don't. I think you're going to need more to beat Usyk than just physicality. I mean, we're talking about Usyk at heavyweight, and I know it's only 5 rounds, but look at the World Series of Boxing, 5-round fight with Joe Joyce. He was handling Joe Joyce not only in terms of technique, but also physically on the inside. Usyk was doing very well physically against Joe Joyce, and I know it's only 5 rounds, but I think the people who are imagining Usyk to be piss weak at heavyweight, I do think they're wrong. I think Usyk's going to surprise people with his strength. I do. I think he's going to surprise people. G-Man Boxing, if Reverend Lovejoy wins this fight, I'll end up in a coma with laughter. Yeah, listen, man, I am rooting for Christopher Lovejoy to beat Dave Allen, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'd love it. I would love it if Christopher Lovejoy beat Dave Allen. Love it. in the Kevin Keegan voice. Philo Bedeau, he says Chisora's a good punching bag. Yeah, he's got his role in the sport. He's a high-level gatekeeper. Basically, he's heavyweight's Gabriel Rosado. That's how I see him, Chisora. He's heavyweight's Gabriel Rosado. And I have respect for those sort of fighters, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I can't back him. MMA champ the GOAT, Derek has the best resume in the heavyweight division. If you're counting losses as well, then yeah, you could make the argument, no doubt. But in terms of wins, his best win is what? Carlos Takam, I would say. Carlos Takam, Malik Scott. They're his best wins, really. You know, they're his best wins. Apart from that, I mean, he should have got the decision against Helenius as well. I'll give him that, but his resume in terms of wins isn't great at the top level. Yeah, smash the like, lads, as well. Be much appreciated. Much appreciated. Yes, big up to Crazy D3 AZ as well. Big up to you guys, man. Big up to you guys. Joseph Supdell, Parker versus Farr picking up traction here in New Zealand. Parker looking in great shape, packed on a bit of muscle. Should be a good little scrap. Yeah, I want to see Joseph Parker really take it seriously, because for me, Joseph Parker is a good boxer. I think he's got ability. He's got hand speed. And And yeah, technically he's a solid fighter, I believe, Joseph Parker. And also he's got a great chin, which a lot of heavyweights don't have. I think he's got a lot of ingredients. But with Joseph Parker, the thing that I've always worried about is his mentality. He comes across too nice. If this guy had a mean streak, let's say you inserted Dillian White's fucking mentality into Joseph Parker, I think you'd have a hell of a fighter right there. For me, Joseph Parker, it's not his ability, it's not his chin or anything like that. It's his mindset that lets him down. Because I think he's a good fighter. I think he's a good fighter. But there we go. AA Boxing and Blunts. Chisora is more like now than ever. He is definitely more like now. He is. He's as big a name as he's ever been in the UK. And he's making money, man. So I can't complain. I can't hate on the guy. The guy's fought a lot of people, and he's willing to fight anyone, really. I do like that about Derek. I actually do like Derek. But yeah, I just don't see him winning the fight. That's all it is, really. Do you know what I mean? Yes, big up to Ronald Finkley. Yeah, exactly, man. We're here in the UK. Big up, sir. Big up. Okay, Bill Billy. The channel Pep Talk UK is hosting a Christopher Lovejoy Q&A in 10 minutes. Interesting. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking, it's funny you say that, Liam. I was thinking about this earlier with Dillian White. I mean, Kubrat Pulev, for example, like he fought Derek Chisora. We'll get onto Derek as well. Kubrat Pulev fought Derek, right? And in my opinion, Pulev done a far better job on Derek than Dillian did in both fights. But someone like Pulev doesn't get credit for beating Derek, while Dillian does in a worse fashion. I think some people do overblow Dillian in a certain sense in regards to what he's done. He's beat good guys, don't get me wrong, but yeah, he was a little overrated. I mean, I saw people over here saying he starches Wilder, and they was convinced of it. I mean, have you seen Dillian's defense, how he throws himself off balance, his lazy jab? Don't you think Deontay's going to catch him with that straight right? Dillian is open for Deontay, man. He's open. Wilder would knock Dillian clean out, in my opinion. But listen, Dillian's got a rebound now. He's got to fight Povetkin in a few weeks. That's going to be interesting. He needs to make that right. I think he can do. I think Dillian can beat Povetkin, but needs to be obviously more switched on. Because I think in that first fight, yeah, he got knocked out, but I think he showed he could beat Povetkin. He just needs, like I said, he needs to be more switched on, you know? Big up to Ian Ward. Do you think Martin Murray can beat Billy Joe? Absolutely not. Again, Martin Murray's another one, kind of like Chisora, a nearly man, a bit of a gatekeeper these days. I've got a lot of respect for Martin Murray, where he's come from, you know, coming out of prison, taking up boxing and basically making something of himself. But he shouldn't really give Billy any trouble at this stage. 38 years old, Martin Murray looks past it to me. I don't think Martin's going to do anything in that fight. You know, but there we go. Didn't Ian McShane play an antiques dealer named Lovejoy in some retro BBC TV series? Is that Dave's opponent? Probably, mate. It more than likely is. But big up to corruption in boxing. No, I'll leave Christopher Lovejoy alone, G-Man Boxing. I'll leave him alone. Imagine this guy's like the best prospect nobody's heard of. Can you imagine? Dave Allen is getting 150k, I heard. Are you serious? To fight Christopher Lovejoy? That can't be right. Nah, I don't believe that. That's insane if true. Lovejoy went to jail for gangbanging as a youth in South Central LA, got up to 400 pounds, started boxing. Now he's 19-0, knockout against Mupp. Yeah, exactly. So he went to prison, came out, got up to 400 pounds, started boxing, and amassed a record of 19-0 with 19 knockouts. Yeah, listen, fair play to Christopher Lovejoy for turning it around. Always got to respect that, but yeah, I mean, from what I've seen in his training videos, he really doesn't look great at all. Doesn't look great at all. Maybe he'll surprise us, but I doubt it. Pigeon Mike Tyson. Dillian is a version of Dillian is a version of a younger Chisora, maybe even worse. Yeah, a lot of people made that comparison back in the day when Dillian was coming up. They saw him as Chisora 2.0, and there are similarities. I do think Dillian is more naturally talented than Derek, to be honest. I think he's got a few more moves here and there. I think Dillian is slightly better than Derek was. Prime for prime, I think Dillian is slightly better, but not by much. Not by much. G-Man Boxing, Dell, do you think Selby's going to call it a day if he loses on Saturday? I do, G-Man, yeah, I do. I think he'll call it a day. If he loses against Kambosos, there's nowhere really for him to go unless he wants to hang around domestically. I can't see him sticking around. And Lee Selby's made a bit of money. When he signed with Al Heyman, when he fought Montiel in the States, he got paid like $1 million in that fight for fighting Montiel. Selby's made a bit of money, so he'll be okay. I think he'll retire. Levi Khan, he's putting every penny I can scrounge on Dave Allen by knockout. Easiest money in a long while. Yeah, I'm waiting for the knockout odds to come out, Levi Khan. Right now, there's only like just outright fight odds who wins the fight. There's no knockout odds yet. Yadiel, either love him or hate him, Dillian deserved the title shot before his last fight. I mean, listen, I understand the argument from who he beat perspective, because he beat Parker, he beat Derek, he beat Hellenius, he beat Rivas. They are good wins, and there are heavyweight challengers who haven't got that sort of resume. I understand it from that perspective, but at the same time, like, Dillian could have had a title shot against Joshua, but he turned it down. He could have fought Pulev in an IBF eliminator. He turned it down. And even the WBC, people forget that this guy did turn down a Luis Ortiz eliminator. So for me, I don't think Dillian's been hard done by, to be honest. Not the way a lot of people make out personally. I think a lot of it is just poor career choices for Dillian. Poor career choices. And whether that's him, Eddie Hearn, I don't know. But I think they've made some mistakes along the way. Nathan, do you think Tommy McCarthy's going to win against Lagune? Don't know much about the other guy. So Tommy McCarthy versus Bilal Lagune. I'm not sure, to be honest, Nathan. Tommy McCarthy's got talents, in my opinion. He can box a bit. And Lagune is a pretty durable guy. He actually drew with Dmitry Kucha, who was a good cruiserweight. So, yeah, I think it'll be a competitive fight. I'm not really sure who wins, to be honest. I'm not really sure who wins. Hopefully Tommy McCarthy wins, though, because I do like him. AZ, mate, Dave Allen, when he wins, will get a ranking, and apparently he wants Char afterwards, but he's not won a belt. It is scandalous. Yeah, exactly, bro. Yeah, Christopher Lovejoy is number 15 by the WBA. That is scandalous. But look at his resume, and then look at his ranking. That is absolutely scandalous. Yeah, G-Man, I think 150k sounds way too steep. Way too steep. I would say maybe 50k at max. Dave Allen's getting. That's just a guess, but no way 150k. No way. Can't see that. Yeah, J Dav, I agree. The Billy Joe Saunders opponent, Martin Murray, really, really wound me up. I was going to make a video on it, but what's the point? Listen, I make a negative video now and again, but I don't want to make too many, and I thought, fuck it, I'm not going to do it, but listen, man, Martin Murray really, really, really disappointed me. Like you said, Zach Parker would have been better. I know Zach Parker's not proven, but I believe, is he mandatory for the WBO? At least you can use that angle, get a mandatory out of the way. Zach Parker would have been better. John Ryder, who's got no fight, would have been great. And from what I've been told, and again, I can't verify this, I don't know how true it is, but I was told by somebody, and they said that John Ryder put his name for that fight against Billy Joe Saunders. He said he was willing to fight Billy Joe, and he said he would be willing to take the same amount of money as Martin Murray to fight Billy Joe. But apparently Billy Joe didn't want it. Make of that what you will. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But it sounds like Billy Joe to me. And yeah, John Ryder right now is in no man's land. I want to see John Ryder get a fight because I like that guy. I like John Ryder. They're talking about John Ryder versus David Lemieux on the Joshua Pulev undercard. That's a good fight. That's the sort of fight I want to see for John Ryder. I want to see him get a good fight because he deserves it, man. He beat fucking Callum Smith. I don't care what anybody says. He beat Callum. Jim McDonald. My Elizabeth made Lovejoy dance like Amir Khan from a backhand, so she did. Big up to Elizabeth. Big up to Liz. Shout out to Liz. Crazy D3. If Dave Allen is getting paid big, we need to boycott pay-per-view more than ever. It would make the Bean Masons at Sky and Matchroom reconsider who to put on the big cards. Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. Dave Allen, I think this is Dave Allen's 8th pay-per-view card. That is crazy. This is a guy who's not won he's not won an area title, an English title, let alone a British title. He's won nothing. He's beat nobody. He beat the corpse of Lucas Brown. That is it. And this guy's been on 8 pay-per-views now. Ridiculous. And God knows how many regular Sky shows. Dillian White has the weakest chin in boxing. I wouldn't go that far. I think Dillian's chin is okay at heavyweight, but listen, his defense is terrible. So I think that's why he gets hurt more than a lot of other heavyweights. His defense just isn't that great. Mr. Man MC, to be honest, I disagree with the Chisora White comparison. Their styles aren't really similar at all. Yeah, I know what you mean. On the come up, Dillian was more similar to Derek. But Dillian's tidied it up a lot more now. He's added things to his game. His jab is a lot better than Derek's. Yeah, right now their styles aren't really all that similar, to be honest. But back in the day when when Dillian was on the come up, it was more similar. But yeah, right now I agree, to be honest. I do agree. Yo, big up to Pigeon Mike Tyson as well, by the way. Big up to Pigeon. Who have you got? Prime Chisora versus Prime White. Oh, shit. I mean, that's always going to be a close fight, to be honest. It's always going to be a close fight. You will see my channel. Chisora got knocked out against David Haye, mate. He got knocked out against David Haye and pulled out against Tyson Fury. But yeah, Chisora's chin is definitely better, I would say. I would say Chisora's chin is better, especially Prime Chisora. I do agree with that. Yeah, Nathan, I think about 20%. Nathan, I think about 20%. Am I far behind? More than likely I am, but... Okay. Pigeon Mike Tyson, I agree with Hearn on the Kell Brook situation personally. Tit for tat, really, yeah. Again, that Kell Brook situation with Eddie Hearn is saying that Kell went behind his back to get this Crawford fight and he's not happy, blah, blah, blah. Kell's saying that Eddie, whatever Kell was saying, I don't even know what Kell's saying. This is the reality with Kell Brook. Eddie Hearn hasn't delivered for him. In my opinion, he's not delivered. The Porter fight was mandatory. Matchroom didn't win the purse bids. Kell had to go to America. He won the fight. At that point, Eddie should have really done a lot more to get these big opponents over. Like the Jesse Vargas fight, for example. Eddie said the money wasn't there for that fight. Well, listen, at certain points in fighters' careers, sometimes you need to overpay to get a stronger hand. And the fight between Kell Brook and Jesse Vargas back then was a unification fight. I think Eddie should have overpaid to get that fight in the UK, make Kell Brook a unified champion, and make him a bigger attraction. As a result, he could actually fight someone like Keith Thurman in the States, earn mega money. But for me, listen, Kell Brook should have left Eddie Hearn after Sean Porter, and he should have went to Al Haymon. He should have relocated to the US, Kell Brook, because that's where welterweight was back then, and it still is. The welterweight division has been based in the States for a long time. And, yeah, I'm not blaming it just on Eddie. I'm sure Kell's to blame as well. But for me, yeah, I mean, it's just Kell Brook's just been a big failure. He's a very good talent, but for me, he should have achieved a lot more than what he did. I think Kell Brook was a great talent that underachieved massively. Nathan, Jermaine Franklin turned down Hughie Fury Yeah, I'm not surprised either. I'm not surprised either. Jermaine Franklin really isn't that great. He's out of shape. He's slow. Average boxing skills at best. I mean, the guy got a gift decision against Jerry Forrest, for example. So, yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised. Big up to Ruben Guerrero. Big up to Ruben. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Man. It's hard to say when Chisora's prime actually was. Was it versus Vitali, Helenius? Yeah, man, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Jim McDonald, kid's mum fancies Dave. Oh shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Pigeon Mike Tyson, I agree. Especially Billy Joe Saunders. Especially Billy Joe Saunders. Again, Billy Joe is another guy, in my opinion, who's a great talent, but he's never really had any momentum, you know? Obviously, he won the world title against Andy Lee, never built on it. The Lemieux performance, which was a great performance, even the likes of Mayweather were talking about it. Mayweather was saying how great Billy Joe was. Like, Billy Joe had a lot of hype after that Lemieux performance, never built on it. You know, his career has just been stop, start, and he's never got the big fights. Never got the big fights. Disappointing, Billy Joe Saunders. Very disappointing. And you're right about John Ryder as well. He seems to be very sidelined right now. Yeah, Callum Smith versus Saunders is way better than Murray versus Callum. Yeah, I mean, Martin Murray, he should not be in any world title fight right now. Full stop. I mean, this guy lost to Hassan and Dam back in 2008, I believe. No, 2018, sorry. He lost to Hassan and Dam and he looked shot that night. He looked shot to bits. 2 years later, after beating two journeymen, here he is in a world title fight. Absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific, man. Christ. There we go, Bo. It's crazy. Yeah, I see that, Nathan. Yeah, Ryder Lemieux rumored for December 12th. Yeah, that's a good fight. That is a good fight. Again, that's the sort of fight I want from for John Ryder. Sorry, that's the sort of fight I want for John Ryder. Lemieux, you know, he's a name. He's former world champion, and yeah, that's a good fight for him. It's a good style clash as well. I think John Ryder could win that fight and win well. I really do. I think he can win well. That's a good step up, Big Dan, for Jaron Ennis. Thomas Delorme, he's a good fighter, like a good fringe contender / gatekeeper now. That's a good fight for him. Matthew Martinez, big up to you, sir. Listening from Chula Vista in Cali, big up to you, man. Shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Matthew. From my understanding, Usyk and Gassiev took so long to acclimate to start their heavyweight journey because they are only putting on 2 kilograms of muscle per year, so they don't hinder their speed. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. At least they're doing it the right way, you know? They're doing it the right way. Kel wasn't signed to Matchroom. So he fought fight by. Sorry, yeah. So Kel wasn't signed to Matchroom. He fought fight by fight. No fight for him, and Crawford gets offered. Do you take it? Of course you do. Yeah, of course you do. 100%. 100%. Sweet Scientist 84. Who do you think the best prospect between Tank Stevenson, Haney, Ortiz, Garcia, Ennis? Who do you think the best is? I rate Shakur Stevenson very highly. I think that guy is going to go a long, long way. You know, he's only going to get stronger. He's only going to get better. He's a very good talent, in my opinion. I like Virgil Ortiz. I like Jaron Ennis. Out of all of those guys you mentioned, I rate every single one, but the one I'm really uncertain on is Ryan Garcia. He's the one in which I'm kind of in the middle on. I see talent there, but I'm not sure whether he's got the application. I'm not sure whether he really is about this life, Ryan Garcia. I get that impression from him because of his social media persona. Maybe that's just me judging him, but Ryan's a good talent, but I'm not convinced by him yet. I'm not convinced. But all of those guys you mentioned, I do rate, to be honest. I do rate. And Tank Davis is another one. I rate the guy very highly, but again, his dedication sometimes is a little bit questionable, I guess. So yeah, I rate all of those guys, but I like Ortiz, Stevenson, Haney, and Ennis the most. I like those guys a lot. Adam Smith will ringing up then saying, "Can you get me on Setanta?" Christ. Yeah, exactly. Crazy D3, especially if he actually had a fight-by-fight deal. Why wouldn't you explore your options? Go to America, sign with Uncle Al, get these big welterweight fights. Because with the PBC, yeah, they don't really make fights out of house, but in house they make fights. Kell would have got these fights if he signed to Al Heyman, in my opinion. He would have fought Thurman, he could have fought Danny Garcia. But there we go. It is what it is. It is what it is. Big up to Johnny Boy, man. Shout out to Johnny Boy. Usyk stops David Hayes' husband. Tank KOs Leo. Inoue KOs the Weasel. I agree with all of those picks, but I think Usyk wins on points, though, actually. I think Usyk wins on points. Tank knocks out Leo. Inoue knocks out Maloney. For Weasel. Christ almighty. Yeah, exactly. Corruption. John Ryder's loyalty to Hearn has not been reciprocated with justifiable victories of an in-house champion, and is now being ducked by another in-house champion. Go back to Frank. Yeah, John Ryder is he's one of those guys though. He's a good fighter, but he's not really got a fan base. Nobody's really queuing to see him or anything like that. So he's one of those guys in the Who Needs Him club, John Ryder. And that's unfortunate because he's a good fighter, man. He's a good fighter. And he's improved a lot. He's improved a hell of a lot in the last sort of 2 years, I would say. He's always had talent, John Ryder, but he's never put it together. The night he put it together against Callum Smith, just got blindly robbed, man. Disgraceful. And he never got anything after that. It would have been a bit better if they treated Ryder with a bit more respect and urgency in getting him a good fight, but they've not. It's a shame. It really is a shame. But there we go. There we go. We see guys like bloody Dave Allen get multiple fight offers, but nothing for John Ryder. It's crazy. It's crazy. Paul 123. Hearn needs to air all of the dirty washing about Brooke. Spill the beans about what happened in Tenerife. Yeah, Eddie Hearn knows a lot more about that than he lets on, I would say. Matthew Martinez, what do you think about Gilberto Ramirez? I think he's one of the best. Everybody will see. Gilberto Ramirez, I always have rated him quite highly. I think he's a good technical boxer. Obviously, he's a southpaw. He's a big light heavyweight, tall, rangy, throws good straight punches, nice high guard. He does all of the basics well. And yeah, in my opinion, I think he's going to do a bit better at light heavyweight than people expect. I think he's going to do okay, Gilberto Ramirez. But again, what's happening with him right now? He's not fought for a long, long time. I know he was undergoing promotional issues, but yeah, I mean, I've heard nothing from Ramirez in a long time. Nothing at all. Overhand, Murray and Rosado in 2020 still getting big fights, laugh out loud. Yeah, certain guys get recycled. And listen, with Gabriel Rosado, I don't really mind so much because the guy always comes to fight and he'll try and make it fun to watch. I don't really mind Rosado, to be honest, because he gives it a go. But Martin Murray these days is really kind of low output, kind of messy, just horrible to watch kind of thing. He's horrible to watch. And he's fighting Billy Joe Saunders. That's going to be a bad fight. It's going to be a really, really bad fight. Yeah, I agree, Pigeon Mike Tyson. I think Beterbiev knocks out Canelo. I agree. At 175, I think he's too big, too strong. And yeah, especially if there's like no rehydration clause, yeah, Beterbiev knocks out Canelo, I would say. Yes, big up to Big Boys Boxing. Shout out to you guys. Down there in New Zealand. I've got a lot of subs from New Zealand recently, believe it or not. A lot of you guys come over, which is nice, man. It's good. Yeah, by the way, lads, I'm ropey as hell. I am ropey as hell. I feel like I've been on a fucking all-night bender, but... Yeah, I agree, Pigeon Mike Tyson. Yeah, I think he was a good champion at cruiserweight when he beat obviously beat Lebedev, good performance, knocked out Wladashek, beat Dorticos. Yeah, man, he was a good champion. He was a good champion. And a good style as well to watch. Puncher, great left hook, solid all-round boxer, I would say. Gassiev, good boxer. Just Usyk made him look horrible. Dave Allen's last brain cell. Sky wanted Eddie to hold some events on an island. I wanted to fight Web again, but Eddie has fear of islands since he went back to his uncle Jeffries. Adam Smith was all for it. Big up to Rabsy Nesbitt in the chat. Big up to you, mate. Big up to you. Big up to the Shepherd of Sons. Nice of you to drop by, son. Nice of you to drop by. Exactly, Pigeon Mike Tyson. Dave Allen, 11 pay-per-views, multi-millionaire because the locals in Doncaster love him. Total joke of a fighter. He was brought in originally as a punching bag for Luis Ortiz. 100%, bro. 100%. Yeah, big boys. I was saying this earlier. A few people are picking Usyk by stoppage. I don't see Usyk knocking out Chisora, but I could see potentially Usyk just peppering this guy round by round by round, and eventually his corner pulls him out. Something like that, similar to the Tyson Fury rematch. I could see something similar to that happening, maybe, but that's the only way I see Usyk stopping him. I don't see Usyk stopping him like with one punch or an accumulation of punches. I don't really see it, to be honest. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be surprised, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, shit. Oh, mate, I'm far behind now already. I'm far behind. Crazy D3. Eddie and Kel were involved in a Tenerife orgy. Typical Freemason activity. You never know. You never know. Yeah, we was talking about this earlier, Paul 123. The level of opponents that Christopher Lovejoy's beaten. I mean, listen. I mean, it's crazy. Honestly, it's crazy that this fight's going to be on pay-per-view. To be honest, yeah, if this fight was on like a regular Sky card and it was like the first fight on the card, I wouldn't really have a problem with it, to be honest. But the fact that this standard of fight is on pay-per-view and on the pay-per-view section of the card, it's not good enough. It really isn't good enough, as far as I'm concerned. Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. His resume is horrendous. Christopher Lovejoy, absolutely horrendous. Septic Tank Davis, Christ. Yeah, I think Tank's going to win this weekend, though. I don't think Leo's going to be the guy to do anything. Leo's. Let's be honest, yeah. That fight is a set-up fight. Not that the outcome is predetermined, but the PBC know what they want from that fight. They want Tank to look good against a guy with a large following and somewhat of a good reputation. That's what they want from Tank Davis. This is Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence 2.0, in my opinion. Tank Davis needs to win this fight impressively. He does. He does. Should Ricky Hatton get into the Hall of Fame? I would say no, personally, sweet scientist. I would say no. Obviously, got the Costa Zoo win. Costa Zoo was slightly past his best. Castillo, again, past his best. Malignaggi, Lazcano. I mean, I don't think his resume is strong enough, to be honest. Good fighter, but I would say no, personally. I would say no with Ricky Hatton. What's next for Filip Hrgović? He is fighting in November, I believe. He's fighting on the Devin Haney Gamboa undercard, and he is fighting Rydell Booker. So not a great opponent for Filip Hrgović. Yeah, smash the like, lads. Smash the like. Take a pack nap, Del. Yeah, I probably need to get some rest, to be honest. I've been up fucking so long. Take a white nap. Yeah, maybe I need to go down to Essex, take a kip in Baz's garden, like Dillian did. Maybe that's a good shout. That's a good shout. White was the first man to be KO'd in Hearn's backyard. Shit. Dillian White's soul is still floating above Barry Hearn's conservatory in Essex. It's crazy. Shout out to Innovation Alloys. Oh, Christ. If Usyk can't knock out Chisora, how's he going to make waves at heavyweight? I mean, listen, Vitali didn't knock out Chisora. Helenius didn't. White didn't in the first fight. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing if you don't knock him out. It's how he beats him. Like, it's how wide he beats him. It's how good he looks, to be honest. If he schools Derek but wins on points, I think that's still pretty impressive. Like, let's say he wins 12 rounds to 0 but doesn't knock him out. I think that's still relatively impressive. I think that's still impressive. Oh, shit, I've lost where I was in the chat now. I've lost where I was in the chat. Incognito, any chance you could do a little preview on the Kambosos Jr. fight? I've heard he's decent. I might do a video on that one, Incognito. I might make a little prediction, but the way I see it is Lee Selby is not a lightweight. He was a decent featherweight, but his 2 fights at lightweight against Omar Douglas and Ricky Burns, he struggled in both fights, took a lot of punishment, doesn't look anywhere near as effective. Kambosos is like a rough, tough type fighter, kind of applies pressure. He's quite strong, he's quite durable. And yeah, I could see Kambosos beating Lee Selby, to be honest, based on like activity, work rate, and him being the guy forcing the fight. I could see Kambosos winning, to be honest. I'd probably favour Kambosos because I just don't think Lee Selby's a lightweight. I really don't. Yeah, exactly, bro. Yeah, exactly. You don't necessarily mean you need to knock out everybody in the division. Yeah. Listen, Derek is a tough dude. For better or worse, he can take a punch. He's pretty durable. I'm looking at how Usyk beats him. You know, I'm just seeing how his skills hold up at heavyweight, how he moves, what his hand speed's like, what his output is like. They are my questions more so than punching power or getting a knockout. I want to see if Usyk's attributes from cruiserweight transcend to heavyweight, and his attributes at cruiserweight were always speed of both hand and foot, punch volume, angles, you know, all of this sort of thing, combinations. That's what I want to see from Usyk at heavyweight, more so than knockout power or anything like that. You know, that's just how I see it anyway. Because let's be honest, yeah, and again, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying Usyk is going to be as good as Holyfield at heavyweight. But, you know, a lot of people, when Holyfield first moved to heavyweight, a lot of people were questioning his punching power, his size, his strength. But he made it work for himself. It's not just about punching power, you know. Usyk could still make it work for himself without being a big puncher, in my opinion. I agree, Pigeon. I agree. Hell no from me as well. Would you rather be stuck in a lift with Adam Smith or take a right hand from Deontay Wilder? I'll tell you what, if Deontay Wilder fucking caught me with a right hand, I'll probably be dead. And if I was trapped in a lift with Adam Smith, if he tries to make an advance, I would tuck him in, mate. I'd knock him out. So yeah, I'd rather be stuck in the lift with Adam Smith, because I can defend myself. I can't defend myself against Deontay Wilder unless I've got like a baseball bat or something. So yeah, I'll take Adam Smith, you know. I'll take Adam Smith. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Incognito. It's a complete joke. Absolute joke. Martin Murray. He's not. I forgot. When was the last time he beat a relevant fighter? Rosado. And when was that? 2017, maybe? 2018, he lost to Hassan and Dam. Hassan and Dam. And 2 years later, he's fighting for a title. It's embarrassing, honestly. Checkmate, where would you put the Charlo pay-per-view? Sorry, where would you put the Charlo's pound for pound? I'd put Jamel in the top 15, to be honest. But I wouldn't put Jamal in the top 15. I don't think he's not done enough yet, Jamal, in my opinion. I think Jamel's got the better resume. Jamel's a unified champion. Beat guys like Tony Harrison, Jason Rosario, Austin Trout, Martirosyan, Rosado, Erickson Lubin. Jamel's resume is pretty tight, actually. His resume is quite good. So Jamel, I could see Jamel going top 15, but Jamal's not really done enough, in my opinion. Ian Ward, Del, if Dylan and Chisora lose, do you think they're going to fight each other again? It could happen, Ian. That could actually happen. Like a loser leaves town type of fight. Yeah, I could see that happening. People would watch it because of how good the first two fights were. I could see it happening. Okay. Oh, that's a good fight, overhand. Teixeira Castano might be added to the Campbell Garcia card. Yeah, that would be a good fight. That's a good fight. That make the card look a bit more stacked. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. I think Castano beats Teixeira though. Just snort a quick line of meth, you'll be okay. Yeah, we don't get meth over here. We actually don't get it over here. There we go. There we go. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, the Hearns run British Boxing Board of Control. Eddie, once you leave me, Hearn, that's it. Sorry, Eddie, once you leave me, that's it, Hearn. Enter Josh Warrington. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Josh Warrington left Eddie to go to Frank, and then he goes back to Eddie, and Eddie he welcomes him with open arms. Reality is, Kell just can't. You can't really do much with Kell now. That's why Eddie's taken the stance he is with Kell Brook. Josh Warrington, on the other hand, still has life in his career. He can still make money out of Josh Warrington. Prime Vitali versus Prime Vladimir. Vitali was a better fighter. Vladimir was a better boxer. Vitali had a better chin. Controversially, I think Vladimir had more heart. Do you know what? I'm going to go Vladimir. Controversially, Vladimir. A lot of people rate Vitali higher. I actually think Vladimir, his boxing ability, his punch power, his technique would see him through in that fight. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. But I'd imagine seeing that fight. That would have been great. But I understand why they didn't fight, obviously. But there we go. Would have been good. Yeah, Michael Stacey. They've. I've always liked Jamel Charlo, as the chat can attest to. But yeah, Jamel Charlo. He got a good win last time out against Derevianchenko. I expected him to have a lot more problems than he did, so I was impressed with Jamel Charlo that night. Hopefully now Jamel Charlo really builds on that and starts to fight the elite middleweights, or even like just as good opponents as he can. I want to see Jamel Charlo really move on now and actually, just get some big fights. And obviously I want to see Jamel Charlo try to become undisputed. That's what he needs to do. He's only one title away from it. So Jamel Charlo's really going in the right direction. He's going in the right direction. So yeah, the Charlos right now, they're looking in a good spot. Yeah, Lee Selby is well overrated in BoxRec. I think he's like ranked, what is it, the 4th or 5th best lightweight in the world? Something like that. Let's have a look. Lee Selby. BoxRec is like that though sometimes with certain fighters. The 4th best lightweight in the world according to BoxRec, Lee Selby. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. There we go. According to BoxRec, Lee Selby is above Devin Haney, Richard Comey, Javier Fortuna, Luke Campbell, Ryan Garcia, Jorge Linares, and all these guys. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, that is true, Philo Bedeau. But me personally, going into that fight, I really didn't have any faith in Jamal Charlo whatsoever. I still felt he was going to make a pig's ear of it and struggle, but he done better than I expected. So I give him credit for that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I was wrong on that one. So I've got to give him credit. I've got to give him credit. Michael Stacey, I like Jamel Charlo because he threatened to slap blue balls. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I remember that as well. I remember that. Pigeon Mike Tyson, Hassan Ndam is so bad I beat him in the amateurs. Laugh out loud. Yes, sir. Smash for like. Big up to Michael Stacey. Big up to Michael Stacey. Yeah, Mr. Man MC. I assumed Coke was involved. Yeah, I assumed that. Yeah. Yeah, there was more to that than meets the eye. There was a reason why it never went any further. Kell Brook did not want that to go any further because he's got something to hide. That guy has got major skeletons in his closet. Let's be honest about it. And I use the word closet. It's funny I use that word right, but there we go. We'll never know what really happened. We'll never know what happened in Tenerife. Yeah, exactly. I was mentioning this earlier. Usyk versus Joe Joyce. Not only did Usyk outskill Joe, but he actually done very well physically as well. He was matching Joe Joyce on the inside, landing punishing shots. Ask Joe Joyce if Usyk hits hard. I think he'll tell you. I think he'll tell you he does. I want to see David Haye cry in his seat on Saturday. Yo, David Haye, somehow has made Derek Chisora a pay-per-view star. I don't know how he's done it, but fair play to him. Fair play to him. Listen, David Haye's been a good manager for Derek. A very good manager. Apparently, Derek's getting paid more than Alexander Usyk. If that's the case, then listen, we all need David Haye to be our manager. Fair play to him. He's doing his job. I can't hate on David Haye. I can't hate on him, man. He's doing what a good manager should do, getting his man out there, getting him paid. Yeah. Yes, big up to the Truth Son. Thank you very much. Respect to you, mate. Respect to you too. Thank you for the support. It's much appreciated. Much appreciated. Big up, man. Big up. Do you think Adam Smith smells... I can't. Do you think Adam Smith smells cat's bumholes? Fuck's sake. Christ almighty. That's a good point, Philo Bedeau. Yeah, Usyk has already slapped up a top 10 heavyweight Michael Hunter. Yeah. And we see how Michael Hunter's doing at heavyweight. Michael Hunter, not a big puncher, but he's making it work for himself. Hand speed, volume, foot speed, angles, movement. He's making it work for himself. I think Usyk can do the same thing. I really do. I really do. Here's a question. Who would you pick, Michael Hunter or Derek Chisora? I'd pick Michael Hunter to beat Derek. I'd pick Michael Hunter. Let's have a look at the Ring Magazine's top 10. By the way, I'm a Michael Hunter fan, so I'm a bit biased, but let's have a look at the Ring Magazine top 10. I think Michael Hunter could beat a lot of heavyweights. I really do. I really do. Let's have a look. Top 10 Ring Magazine heavyweights. Christ, where are we? Where are we? Okie dokie, fucking spooky. Here we go. Heavyweight. Here we go. Number 10, Kubrat Pulev. I would pick Michael Hunter to beat him. Pulev is shot to bits, in my opinion. Number 9, Oscar Rivas. I would pick Michael Hunter to beat him. Number 7's Joseph Parker. I think that's a 50-50 fight. Number 6 is Andy Ruiz Jr. Believe it or not, I would pick Michael Hunter to beat Andy Ruiz Jr. Too active. Foot speed is going to be too much in that fight. Number 5, Luis Ortiz. Again, I could see Michael Hunter outboxing Luis Ortiz, outworking him. I hate to sound like a Michael Hunter fanboy, but so far I would pick Michael Hunter to beat Kubrat Pulev, Oscar Rivas, Andy Ruiz Jr., and Luis Ortiz. Number 4 is Dillian Whyte. Michael Hunter versus Dillian Whyte. What about that one? Again, Michael Hunter is clearly a better boxer, clearly got better stamina, better hand speed, better foot speed. Again, I could see Michael Hunter beating Dillian Whyte. Number 3 is Alexander Povetkin. Again, a lot of people felt he beat Povetkin already. Number 2, Deontay Wilder. I think that's a hard fight. Michael Hunter would be winning the fight, but he needs to avoid that right hand. He could get knocked out in that one. Number 1, Joshua. I'll take Joshua over Michael Hunter. And the champion, Tyson Fury. I'll take Fury over Michael Hunter. Quite frankly, yeah, there's only 2 guys on this list I would pick with confidence to beat Michael Hunter. That is Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Everybody else, I think Michael Hunter's got a legitimate chance of beating. There we go. There we go. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. There's the Michael Hunter fan club fucking segment over. Del, when are you doing the second channel? Again, it's in the back of my mind. First and foremost, I want to come up with like a channel name and then go from there, basically. But yeah, it's coming. But yeah, big up again to the Truth Son. Shout out to D as well. Salute, Del. Shout out to everybody in the universe, pigs, cows, etc. Indeed. Indeed. Oh Christ, Pigeon Mike Tyson's going there with Kell Brook. We've all speculated on Kell Brook though. He's certainly like I said, he's hiding some skeletons, in my opinion. Kell Brook. Yeah, David Haye. David Haye as a manager, he's worked wonders with Derek Chisora. That has to be said. He's getting the guy paid. He's getting him on pay-per-view. His name value right now is as big as it's ever been. Listen, man, David Haye's doing a good job. Doing a great job. Cashman, that's a good fight. Subriel Matias versus Arnold Barboza. Who have you got? Do you know what? Barboza can box a bit, but Barboza always gets drawn into a fight. And against Matias, that's going to be his undoing. I think he'll trade and get stopped, basically. I think Matias would knock out Barboza. It's a good fight, though. It's a really good fight. Yeah, I like Hunter, man. I like Michael Hunter. I think he's very good. It's funny enough, my 2 favourite heavyweights are cruiserweights, Michael Hunter and Usyk. They're my favourite heavyweights. What are your thoughts on Vergil Ortiz? Do you think he goes far? Yeah, I do. I like Vergil Ortiz. Carries power in both hands. He's poised. Throws every shot technically well. Yeah, man, he's a very good prospect. Very good prospect. Seems to be wise beyond his years as well, which is what I like to see from young prospects. His head's not in the clouds, you know. He's not like buying into his hype. Just working away. And when he's ready, he'll be ready. Very good prospect. I think he'll go far. Why was Dave Allen versus Hammer cancelled? COVID. Hammer got COVID. Yeah, exactly. The Shepherd of Suns. Michael Hunter beat Ruiz in the amateurs. Yeah, I think Ruiz's feet would lose him that fight. I think Michael Hunter's feet are far too quick. I think Michael Hunter is a lot more active than Andy Ruiz. And yeah, I think Michael Hunter would outpoint Ruiz personally. Unless Ruiz catches him with something big, I don't really see Ruiz winning that. I don't see him winning that fight on points, certainly. Luis Ortiz versus David Price. Christ. I'd like to see it, you know, why not? Bit of banter. But yeah, Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz by knockout. Luis Ortiz by knockout against David Price. Usyk versus Chisora. Come on, Donkey Kong. Yeah, man, it's on pay-per-view, mate. It's on pay-per-view over here. We got to pay for it. I'm going to stream it, man. I'm going to stream it. Why not? Michelle Joy Phelps, would you? Yeah, I would. I'd give it a go. Listen, I'm up for trying new things, I guess. Why not? Why not Michelle Joy Phelps? I like some of these fucking quotes in the chat. Yeah, that's true, D. That is true. If you go in there, give it a go, and put on a show, you are going to get another call. Look at Gabriel Rosado. I always go back to Rosado. He always gets fucking fights because he comes to fight. He's entertaining, and you know what you're going to get. Same with Derek. Really, it's the same with Derek. Dave Allen kind of breaks that mold because every single time I've seen Dave Allen fight, I've been bored to death. But yeah, you are right. Definitely. You can make good money in boxing without being a world level fighter. Salute to Nordic. God bless. Dave Allen versus AJ is a possibility for the future. Can you imagine that? Christ. You never know, Nordic. You never know. If David Price lands that right hand on Luis Ortiz, you never know. But yeah, I take Luis Ortiz, to be honest. I can't trust David. I can't trust him. Yeah, Lee McGregor versus Karim Gurfi. That's for the European title. That is a good fight. Gurfi's a pretty decent fighter. He's solid. He is solid Euro level. That's what he is. That's a good fight. I think Lee McGregor's going to take it, but it's going to be a tough fight. I think that fight's going to be on IFL, to be honest, which is good. Exactly, Pigeon Mike Tyson. See, I'll get hate with the whole Michelle Joy Phelps thing. You know, all I've said is I would, you know. But yeah, I get a lot of stick for that take. But there we go. I'm just confident that I could handle it, you know. That's what it is. Arthur is the best light heavyweight of all time. He's the best light heavyweight right now, in my opinion. I'll say that. The best light heavyweight right now. I think he beats everybody. You know, Smith, Bivol, all of these guys. I think he beats them. Exactly, D. Thank you. Another one in the club. I would as well, man. Why not? Will Cesaro retire after Saturday? No, he won't. People would still watch Derek. One more loss isn't going to change that, to be honest. Listen, if Derek loses, which he will do, he's still got fights. I mean, chuck Derek in there with what? They could still sell Derek versus Joseph Parker next year. I kid you not, they could still sell it. And people would still watch it. Derek versus, you know, like the Kawanaki Hellenius 2 winner, for example. People would watch these fights. He's still got fights left in him, even if he loses. Derek's one of those fighters. He's going to hang around. He's going to hang around. Shit, where am I? Yeah, D. From what I've heard online, that rematch is going to happen, but there's no date for it yet. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. That's really the only way. That's all that Kawanaki can really do right now, in my opinion. He needs to take that rematch. He needs to avenge that defeat. Ian Ward, Dell, do you think David Haye will try to do the same with Dillian Whyte as he has for Chisora at some point? No, I don't think Dillian's that sort of guy. I don't think David Haye and Dillian would work together. I don't see that working, to be honest. Having said that, I wouldn't have said David Haye and Derek would work together either. So maybe. Like I said earlier, though, one thing we can say, again, I'll say it again, David Haye has done a very good job for Derek Chisora as a manager. He's done a very good job. Especially if, like I said, if rumours are true and Derek's getting paid more than Usyk. David's done very well for his client in that regard. He's done very well. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Derek could lose Nathan. He could lose against Usyk, and he could still fight. Like I said, Joseph Parker. He could still fight Filip Hrgovic. All these sort of guys, people would still watch. Paul 123 is Chisora an underachiever or an overachiever? Guys had such a weird career. It's a very good question. I think he's probably achieved in what really all he can with his skill set. I'd say he's achieved all he really can. Maybe he's an overachiever. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know really, to be honest. Yeah, that's true, Nathan. Yeah. Oh, you got Helenius again. I mean, based on that first fight, I think we've got to go the same route, I guess. If Kaunaki gets past the first 4-5 rounds against Helenius, then he could win because Helenius doesn't really have a great gas tank, but he's got to walk through those big shots again, and Kaunaki eats shots for fun. He's got no defense whatsoever, and obviously Helenius can punch, as Kaunaki found out. So I think that rematch is 50-50, to be honest. If it's Helenius has to win early, and Kaunaki needs to take it late, I would say. Exactly, corruption. Yeah, exactly. A reasonably skilled backfoot southpaw boxer, Ajit Kabayel, ran rings around Derek. What the fuck do you think an elite southpaw in Usyk is going to do? Yeah, I was saying the same thing in my prediction in regards to the Kabayel fight. I mean, it's like people have totally erased that from their minds. And also, another parallel was the atmosphere of that fight. That fight was in Monaco, and basically there was no noise, there was no atmosphere, and Derek was really flat. I've always kind of speculated that Derek is a guy who thrives off crowd environment. Obviously, on Saturday it's going to be behind closed doors, no crowd. That suits Usyk a lot more than it does Derek. A lot more. Usyk's fought in the middle of nowhere, in front of nobody in the amateurs. He's used to this. Derek isn't, and Derek doesn't respond well in those environments. It's not just the Kabayel fight. There's been numerous fights low on undercards when Derek's been fighting journeyman, and he's looked terrible. When he's fighting on low on undercards where nobody's in the crowd, he's looked awful. And I think that's a factor for Derek. I really do. I really do. MMA champ for GOAT. Golden Boy and PBC are good with building fighters. I'm not sure really. I think in America the best promotional team at building fighters is Top Rank. In terms of like matching them correctly, getting them the right step ups, I think it's Top Rank, to be honest. I think they're the best in the game in general, I would say. Yeah, Helenius, I would say, yeah. Helenius is a weird one. On the come up, he was very highly touted, had a bit of hype, but obviously he picked up injuries. There was promotional issues, and his career basically never really got going. Got knocked out by Duhaupas, had a few setbacks, lost to Dillian Whyte. His career never really got back on track, but he was a good talent at one point. He was a good talent. He could box a bit, He's got decent boxing skills. I like how he throws that 1-2-1, so like a jab, right hand, then a jab again. He's got some nice combinations. Yeah, big up to Unrivaled Boxing Talking News. Big up to you, sir. Does Chisora's physicality bode as a positive or a negative versus Usyk? I feel the more efforts you out in versus him physically, the quicker he wears you down physically. I mean, in regards to Derek's physicality, I mean, I don't know, mate. That's all he's really got in this fight. It's not like Usyk hasn't seen that before in certain fights. He's seen that. He saw it against Joe Joyce. Look what happened. I think Derek's going to need a lot more than that. I think he's going to know a lot more. He's going to need a lot more than that, in this fight. But yeah, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I just can't see it, D mate. I just can't see it against that style of fighter. I can't see Derek doing it. He needs to land that one big perfect shot out of nowhere, which catches Usyk just clean and unawares. He needs to land that sort of shot. If he doesn't do that, I can't see him doing it, mate. I really can't. I think he's going to get peppered. I think he's going to get peppered. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Paul 123, will Chris Eubank Jr. win a world title in his career? Well, I mean, right now I would say no. If you look at who's got belts at 160 and 168, I would say no. But boxing changes very quickly. Belts get vacated. Could Chris Eubank Jr. pick up a vacant belt against like a B-level, C-level fighter? Yeah, he could. But it would be a result of circumstance, in my opinion, more so than Eubank being a genuine world-class fighter. But it's possible, but I would say no if I had to bet. I would say no. I don't really see it. Eubank is a decent fighter, but just not like proper world class. He's like fringe world level, I would say, Chris Eubank Jr. Not as bad as some people say, but not as good as he thinks. Unrivaled Boxing Talk, he says, I think the best money to be made on this fight could be Usyk rounds 10 to 12 on the stoppage. Ref might step in. That stamina and output could be bad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Similar like to the Tyson Fury stoppage. That's what I was surmising as well. I think if he does get stopped, Derek, it is going to be accumulation late on. And maybe you could see him getting pulled out by his corner or even, something like that. I could see that happening late on. I think that's a possibility. Just based on pure output kind of thing. Pure output. To be honest, with Sven Ottke, the only fight I felt he truly lost from what I've seen of his fights was the Robin Reed fight. I felt he lost that fight. The Glenn Johnson fight, which I've seen, was a close fight, but I felt Ottke won. And I see what was that fight? The guy Joe Calzaghe fought. I forgot his name. That fight was close as well, but again, I thought Ottke done enough. The only robbery I saw Ottke in was the Robin Reed fight. That's my opinion anyway. I felt he lost to Robin Reed. MMA champ for GOAT. I think the best money to be made on this fight could be Usyk UD. That's the most likely to happen. Yeah, it's the most likely to happen, but like, what sort of odds are you going to get on it? I don't think you're going to make much money on Usyk UD, to be honest. I don't really see there being much money in it. Yeah, Byron Mitchell, unrivaled. Byron Mitchell, yeah. That was the guy, Byron Mitchell. Yeah, I felt Sven Ottke won that fight against Byron Mitchell. The best Chris can attain is being a two-weight IBO champion. Yeah, that's how I see it, corruption, with Eubank Jr. Eubank Jr. is a good fringe contender, I guess. That's his level. Physically gifted, strong kid, but boxing-wise, he leaves a lot to be desired. There have been a lot of glaring flaws in Eubank Jr. for years, which he hasn't addressed, and a lot of that is due to his own arrogance and stubbornness. Not getting a trainer, doing it his own way, and he's stunted his own growth, in my opinion. He could have been a better fighter. No, I'm not saying he'd ever be great, but I think he could be better if he wasn't so stubborn and so egotistical. I think he could have been better. Arnfield is 10-1 versus Doherty, worth a punt, even on a 2-year layoff. Yeah, definitely good value in that. It's definitely good value there with Jack Arnfield. Arnfield is very durable. He's got a good chin. And Doherty's not fought anybody. He's not fought anybody. You could see it. You could see it. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I felt the same with Ottke and Byron Mitchell. I felt Ottke did enough. Okay was actually a decent fighter, to be fair to him. He was a good boxer, good technical fighter. He did very well considering the lack of power. He did very well. The funniest thing with Sten Otke was the fight with what's his name? Anthony Mundine. That fight, yeah, Anthony Mundine was boxing really fucking well. He was winning that fight, in my opinion. And out of nowhere, the guy who can't punch lays out Anthony Mundine cold, like he knocks him out cold. That was crazy, that fight. That was crazy. Fucking hell. Yeah, I agree, D. The upset of the night would be a Lovejoy win. Yeah. I'm rooting for Lovejoy because I can't stand Dave Allen, to be honest. I want to see Dave Allen get slapped. I want to see him get knocked out. Yeah, the commentary on Bellew versus Usyk was disgusting. Philo Bedeau, like Tony Bellew had like one good round, I would say, one really good round, I would say. He had a couple of moments in other rounds, but they was really overblowing Tony Bellew's success in that fight. They really were. Remember when Adam Smith said Jamie Cox was the best British fighter or something? He couldn't have said that, surely. He couldn't have said that. Yeah, Tommy Langford. I don't know whether he's retired, D, but he's not been seen for a long time. When I worked at my last job, he actually he tried to get a car from us because I used to work in car leasing, and he tried to get a car from us, and yeah, he tried to get it on sponsorship. Basically, yeah, he tried to get it like without paying for it, essentially, like as a sponsorship type thing. Obviously, we said no. That's the last I've heard from Tommy Langford. that's the last I've heard from him. The only commentator doing his job in the Bellew Usyk fight was Paulie. Yeah, Paulie's the only one keeping it real on these commentary teams. I've noticed actually with Showtime Boxing, their commentary has gone down drastically since Paulie's left. I don't rate Abner Mares as a commentator. I liked him as a fighter. I like him as a person, but as a commentator, he's terrible. He's awful. He's awful, man. Okay, he's still training and boxing. Okay, interesting. He's not fought for a while though. Yeah, I think 2 rounds is like the max you can give Bellew in that fight. D. I would say, yeah, 2 rounds. Yeah, that's fair. 2 rounds. Fuck's sake. Yeah, Abner is bad. Yeah, he's bad. Abner is shite. He sounds like an intern. Yeah. Again, I liked Abner as a fighter, but yeah, he needs to knock commentary on the head. Speaking of Abner Mares, I've heard rumours of Abner Mares versus Shakur Stevenson. That'd be horrendous. Can you imagine that? He'd get beat the fuck up against Shakur at this point. He'd get beat up. I mean, Abner at one point was on the verge of retiring because of like an eye injury or something like that. Not fought in God knows how long. That'd be horrendous. Yeah, Kurt Sidzi, yeah, he fucking leveled Tommy Langford. Yeah, I remember that fight because Billy Joe was supposed to fight Kurt Sidzi after that, and Kurt Sidzi went to prison. He went to prison for like fucking what was he doing? Like he was some like mafia enforcer, like the what was it, the Albanian mafia? He was like some enforcer guy, and he got fucking sentenced to like 10 years in prison, 12 years in prison, whatever it is. Crazy, man, it's crazy. He's a mean little fucker, Kurt Sidzi. Yeah, Pigeon Mike Tyson. At the time, I felt Kurt Sidzi would be a very hard fight for Billy Joe Saunders, a very hard fight. But it depends again with Billy Joe. If it's for Billy Joe from the Lemieux fight, he comfortably beats Kurt Sidze. But if it's for Billy Joe from the Isafi fight or the fight with the Argentinian last time out, Kurt Sidze could beat him, to be honest. It depends on what Billy Joe you get. New Joe Rogan podcast with Alex Jones. Are you serious? Because I'm going to listen to this shit, if that's true. I'm going to listen to this. Are you serious? Are you serious? Oh, you're fucking serious? We're going to... I know what I'm doing after this fucking... after this live stream. Kurt Sidze was selling $10 million in illegal cigarettes in New Jersey. Laugh out loud. Crazy, mate. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Yeah, Levi. Yeah, you're right, bro. Like, Martin Murray must have blackmail pics on Eddie Hearn. Yeah. How the hell does he get the Billy Joe Saunders fight? Yeah, so he lost to Hassan and Dam 2 years ago. He's come back and fought 2 journeymen. All of a sudden, he's ranked by the WBO out of nowhere, and he gets a title shot. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. Yes, sir. That Oxley Frine Billy Joe Saunders is an all-time great. 100%, bro. There are people out there who believe that Billy Joe wasn't juicing. Of course he was, bro. Look at who he was with at the time. Billy Joe was on fucking rocket fuel when he fought Lemieux. He was on rocket fuel. And he got caught out. He got caught out. Yeah, Alex Jones, Johnny. Alex Jones is just funny as fuck to me. Like, half of the shit 99% of the shit he says is nonsense. Well, not 99%. 90% of the stuff he says is nonsense, but he's entertaining to me. I find him funny as fuck. Exactly, D. Martin Murray was retired. He was retired, then he fucking come back. Stinking up the joint again. Insane. Yeah, he knocked out Antoine Douglas as well. Yeah, Antoine Douglas at one point was a highly touted prospect. He was a highly touted prospect. And yeah, Kurt Sidze knocked him out. Yeah. Knocked out Tommy Langford. He gave Hassan and Dam a real hard fight years and years ago. That was when Hassan and Dam was good. Kurt Sidze fought him then, and yeah, that was a real close fight. Kurt Sidze was a good fighter. Biggest waste of talent in boxing currently, I would say Kell Brook. Kell Brook, because his career is nearly over now, right? So I would say Kell Brook. I think Tank Davis is in danger of becoming that if he's not careful. But I would say Kell Brook. Exactly, D. That's what I'm saying. Like, I like Alex Jones. I like David Icke as well. Although David Icke speaks a lot more sense than Alex Jones does. I think David Icke is bang on about a lot of stuff. I like David Icke a lot. I think he's good. I think he's good. Yeah, Brook or Billy Joe Saunders for me, wasted talents. Yeah, Billy Joe again, another one. How many years has this guy had with being inactive? Not fighting bums. I mean, another guy with a lot of talent, but no dedication, no application, basically. MMA champ the GOAT. I'm famous on IFL's comment section now. Why? What did he put? Pigeon Mike Tyson. I've met David Icke. The guy's a nut. I like him, man. The guy's funny as fuck. I like him. I like David Icke. Oh, you got banned from a boxing asylum. Ah, shit. I like a boxing asylum. They got some good stuff. They've got some good stuff, man. They made me crease the other day with Bellew of the Week. There was like this picture of Maurizio Suleiman with like this fucking Yeti looking dude. It's fucking hilarious, man. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, I don't really watch IFL anymore, Nathan, either. I don't really watch it. As I've like gotten older, I pay less attention to pre-fight build-up now. I pay a lot less attention to it. I don't really watch pre-fight press conferences or anything like that. Pre-fight interviews doesn't really do anything for me. I'm not really interested in that sort of shit. Yeah, Terry O'Connor, yeah, Levi Khan, yeah. Terry O'Connor used to be a boxer, yeah. Like a area level fighter back in the day. Yeah, he was. Alex Jones is a fat waste of blood and organs. Used to find him funny, but he went too far, saying the Sandy Hook shootings were staged. Yeah, well, it's what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. He's basically been deplatformed in the USA though, which I think is unfortunate. I don't agree with that. Deplatforming somebody because you disagree, I don't agree. I really don't. That's the way the world's going though right now. So it is what it is. It's not really surprising. Yeah, I agree, Jim McDonald. Boxing Asylum they've got a great podcast. Best boxing podcast on YouTube, in my opinion. The best, absolutely. Anyway, lads, I'm going to wrap this one up. If you could smash the like, be much appreciated. And I'll try and get another one. Maybe fucking, I don't know, maybe Sunday, something like that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Just rambling. Thank you for all dropping by. Peace.